I hope you haven't come for miner's work, my friend. Ask Goblin.
Blessed be. Welcome to Silver Glen.
Hi there, cutie pie. Wanna have a good time?
Come hither,
Right, stranger. The rot is cured. The blight is...
Rejoice, stranger! The rot is cured! The blight is lifted!
Let me.
Come hither, sweetheart. Or if I had a scar for every...
They say the undead are immune to rot.
You stay a while, darling. I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you like.
Goddess greetings, friend. Her greatness gave us fire, her greatness gave us earth, and my savvy brings you spells at the best rate in town. Come, get...
Where the wind blows, the goddess breathes. Where the rivers run, the goddess weeps. How can I connect you to our eternal goddess, my friend?
You believe in the gods, baby? Because you're the answer to all my prayers.
You must be a broom, because you just swept me off my feet. Me? I'm Ramon!
I may not be a genie, but rub me right and I'll make your dreams come true.
No questions, please. Ramon does not ponder. He does not wonder. He only loves. Even true love has a price, angel face. Luckily for you, that price is but 250 golden coins. So it is. But let's make sure there's a fireman standing by. Because, baby, you are smoking.
I just know I could take you on a wild
These goblins
ride.
are worse than the
Let
trolls.
me.
Half as dumb and twice as mean.
There you are, Cuddles. Oh, where have you been all my life? Well, it seems I've got you right where I want you, darling. If you're ready to begin, I'll start by stripping you down. I want to see you in the raw. How does that sound? Ready and eager. Well, the question is, are you ready, Source Hunter? Are you prepared to face the repercussions of your heinous crimes against the goddess? She delivered us from rot and from all that is unholy in this cruel world. She of the source, and you would have her head, would you not? You've trained all your life to seek out and destroy that great power. Destroyer of source, defiler of all that is holy, face your judgment in the name of the conduit. Still lost one. I fear this might hurt quite a bit. I wouldn't complicate things by
Let me go, you
thrashing
little
about.
monster! Away with you!
Praise the goddess! Oh.
Please, somebody do something! Throw a bucket of water over the damn thing! shorter! Stop it! Freeze it! Stop! Leave you alone! Oh, let me go, you little monster! Away with you! No! He got the princess! Please, somebody do something! Throw a bucket of water over the damn
Sigurd's
thing!
beard, what a fight!
God, the fuse is getting shorter! Stop it! Freeze it! Stop talking! Naughty princess! Leave fuse alone or boom! Let me go, you little monster! Away with you! No!
One man's trash is another man's trash.
Please, somebody do something! Throw a bucket of water
One
over
man's
the
trash is another man's trash.
God, the fuse is getting shorter!
Another one for
Stop
the
it!
collection.
Freeze it! Stop talking! Naughty princess! Leave fuse alone or boom! Let me go, you little monster! Away with you! No!
I guess someone else got here first.
You there! Back off! Bicky boom! One more step and Bicky boom! No, don't go! Please help me! That thing is keeping me trapped here! It's crazy! It'll kill me!
Calm down. We're not coming any closer. Let's just talk about this.
Yes, don't worry, miss. We'll get you out of this fix somehow.
Princess keep her trap shut or Bicky boom! No folks, shoot or Bicky boom! Last warning or Bicky boom! Please, somebody do something! Throw a bucket of water over the damn thing! Foul tricks! Princess hot or boom! Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! You saved my life! It was that cur of a Frederick that did this to me. He locked me in here with that ridiculous creature. Dear me, I need to get out of this room. Yes, I'll go downstairs to catch a breath of fresh air, but do come and talk to me again if you want to hear more about what transpired here. My thanks once more, sweet hero.
Oh, hum.
These goblins are worse than the trolls.
That world-weary face is giving me shivers. What you say we take a load off together? I do suppose I could find some way to entertain you. Oh, sugar, that's a story for another day, ain't it? Speaking of, yours and mine has hardly begun. What say we get better acquainted upstairs? I've got all kinds of, details to share with you. Oh, go right ahead, sweetheart. Darling, I don't hardly recognise this place no more. Everything's changed since those silly Immaculates came into vogue. The miners, they used to spend their last penny on a backwards glance from yours truly. But now, they'd rather pray than play. Ugh, I just don't understand it. They just stand around and praise the so-called goddess all day long. I've no idea who she is, but apparently she gets her kicks from having blood sprayed all over her. Now, I knew a girl once who was into that kind of stuff. Her clients used to call her goddess and mistress too, but there was precious little divine about her. Indeed I do. And I'm just itching to take you places you've only ever dreamed of, darling. What's a lousy 250 gold between an adventurer like you and a fine piece of tale like the one I've got in store for you? Oh, that's the spirit, sugar. Oh, gold always puts me in the mood for a little romance. Follow me then. My knight in shining armor. There you are, darling. Shall we get started then? Oh, let's do it. But first, I need to know about your preferences, darling. You're in charge tonight, after all. So tell me, which sort best floats your boat? A savage, merciless witch? Or a gentle, sensuous nymph? Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. Not every customer can handle the thrill of a mid-afternoon fright, you know. And if I'm any good at this, I'll scare the pants right off you. Come, let's make ourselves comfortable. And this witch will weave her charms. It was a terribly stormy night. In the tiny hut, a cauldron steamed and bubbled. A figure stood in the corner, pressing its fat, purple nose into the sharp indentation where the hut's walls met. Low muttering burbled through its jagged teeth and bloated lips. A knock, swift and sharp, fell upon the door. "Babe Orb," a small voice called. "Babe Orb, it's happening, it's time." The figure stood up straight and straightened the long, stained apron that hung about its hips. "A moment, child, a moment," Babe Orb croaked, hurrying over to the cauldron. She quickly filled 2 flasks with the swirling violet brew and stuffed them into her pouch. In a flash, she was through the hut's door, flicking 2 gold coins at the grubby child, who scrambled to retrieve them from the dark doorsteps where they fell. The wind whipped Babe Orb's hair, lashing her thick skin with thorns. But the old witch had mind for one fact alone. The councilor was nearly dead. After some minutes, she arrived at the edges of town. Working her way into the councillor's sick room now required stealth, not speed. And so Babe Orb crept, silent as a cat, between alley and square until she came to the doors of his old, silent mansion. It was nearly easy for the witch to sidle in, masked in a simple wallflower charm, and wind her way into the crowded room where the councillor lay dying. She cradled her flask in her arms, enjoyed their warm sloshing, and awaited the final moment. "Soon," she whispering croaked, "soon enough the councillor will be mine." The wailing mourners around her took no notice. And that's the end of chapter 1. So cutie. What do you think? Oh, I bet you could use a pipe, couldn't you? A few puffs sure takes the edge off the suspense, doesn't it? Oh well. This has been a pleasure, darling. Come find me again any old time.
Another piece of trash.
Walgraft gives you an envious look. It would appear he quite fancied some quality time with pretty Ruby himself.
No need for that rueful stare, rogue. All you'd have gotten from her is an itch in unpleasant places.
That world-weary face is giving me shivers. Darling, I never said I was selling anything but a good time. A little tails, always nicer than a little tale. One always goes well in the end, and the other, well, charges triple for that sort of thing. Indeed I do.
Oh, you startled me. Let me compose myself. Hello, stranger. How can I help you? Oh, me? Oh, I'm just the waitress around here, as you can see. My husband, Blossius, is a legionnaire currently stationed in Cyseal, but I haven't heard from him in far too long. He's Will? But that means he's... Oh, no. Oh, not my cutie, broody buttercup.
Democracy know no bounds.
Blessed be, welcome to Silverglen. Once a place of sin.
They say a witch lives in the woods east of here. I've never seen her myself. One day the conduit will smite her.
Praise the goddess.
Watch where you're going. These beauties will pierce you to the bone. Ever shot a bullseye in your sleep? Well, no wonder with...
I can feel the goddess's vigor coursing through my very veins.
You dare disturb my ruminations? It must be that you can hardly wait to purchase an ingredient or two.
Oh, dear. You'll hardly impress the conduit with such a clouded look about her up.
Oh. You haven't any ale, have ya? Well, never mind for now. What sort of magical relics can I offer ya? Blessed by the goddess they are, each and all.
Rejoice, stranger! The rot is... I hope you haven't come for miner's work, my friend. That's
They say a witch lives in the woods east of here, but I've never seen her myself.
Oh, my hero! My heart is still racing. That little monster's face haunts me every time I so much as blink. Bonnie's my name, and I am, or rather I was, a lover for hire. Folks would come to me when they were in need of some company, conversation, and more intimate desires. But this fiasco has put an end to it. I'll never set another foot into a client's room, not on my life. Nothing much, I'm afraid, but go ahead. I'll answer what I can. I used to, you know. Merchants came and went. They paid well and gave me gifts. Fewer and fewer of them travel here now because of the undead around Cyseal and the goblins holed up in the mines. Times are hard for a working girl, to tell you the truth. But where would I go? There's danger to be found everywhere these days. These bedeviled days. I haven't been immaculate for a long time now, darling. And if I see what passes for immaculate here in town, I don't want to join the club anew either. Give me fun, not fanaticism. Give me zeal, not zealotry. These people, I honestly don't know what has gotten into them. Yes? Search me. He's a regular of mine, with rather eccentric tastes, I might add. He always wants me to wear a grey wig, for example, and walk with a cane. But I digress. Anyway, he recently spent the night again, and I couldn't sleep because of his muttering. He talked something awful all through the night. In the morning, I told him he had gone on and on about some Meridino character and a supposedly secret treasure lair somewhere in the woods. Next thing I knew, he flew into a rage. Said the treasure was his and his alone, and that I was nothing but a meddling care. I was just about to let him know I won't stand for such language when he pulled that monster of a bicky out of his satchel and told the little gnome to guard the princess and to go boom if I tried to escape. I spent hours of horrid fear up in that room until you saved me.
Those damn toll trolls are such a nuisance.
I hope you haven't come for miner's work, my friend. That's...
We're a mile away from the goblin camp beyond the canyon, but you can still smell it.
Enjoying your stay in Silver Glen, I trust?
I traded my pickaxe for a bloodstone, and you'll do the same.
Quite a fine skeleton beneath that hide of yours, isn't there? Yes, a lovely, sturdy thing. I bet it'll last 100 generations.
Sweet cheeks. Oh, I'm aching to share a moment together.
What news from the mines?
No news, sir. Goblins will slice us to ribbons if we approach the bridge.
Unacceptable. I want those goblins out of my mine by yesterday. Send another man. As many as it takes.
We haven't enough men among us to take on even a few of them, sir.
Are you deaf? I said I want those goblins out! Make it happen, even if you have to spear Drexus yourself.
Source hunter, are you? What brings you to this neck of the woods? The goblins? The orcs? The cult? Or the whole pretty bouquet? Don't be surprised if you hear more than a few unkind words about yours truly around town. An overseer's got to enforce his share of unpopular guild decisions, you know. I'm finished with this one-pony rodeo, though. I did my best by these roughnecks, and now it's time for old Brandon to take a load off. In fact, you may be able to help speed my retirement plan along.
Let's hear the details.
I must say, I'm also intrigued.
I knew a source hunter'd perk up at the sound of a challenge. Between you and me, the Troll King's sitting on a piece of treasure of more value than even he knows. A metal called tenebrium that can fetch a prettier sum than its weight in gold. I intend to lift it, sell it, and live out the rest of me days in comfort. The devil's in the details, though, and I haven't managed to find a way to access the King's Cave, much less make off with the stuff without being noticed. But you're a source hunter. You can sniff out any point of mystery. So let's make a deal, You find the tenebrium and bring it to me, and I'll deliver you a few pieces of information about Silverglen, and Lawrence in particular, that are sure to make your mouth water. I wouldn't wish the Ross on me worst enemy, though. So let me give you a little something to contain the tenebrium bars. It's lined with the fragments of a special stone that keeps rats' ill effects at bay. Apart from Gungir's stature and incurable case of the uglies, it's not so different from a parakeet. Got a brain the size of a pea, and a fervent passion for all things bright and shiny. The nutty oaf sits on a river of silver beneath these mines, but leases it to the mining company for a fraction of its worth in gold. He'd rather put those hefty minions of his on toll duty than mine these hills himself for 5 times the reward. I can't be certain myself where his cave is located, but at least one of those oaf lackeys of his must know where to look. They've got to do something with all the gold they've gathered in the course of guarding those damn bridges, haven't they? I'm no man to refuse a source hunter. Ask away, friend. That circus rolled into town shortly after the tenebrium was discovered. Some freak woman with a freak gemstone managed to cure rot by some strange magic and convinced most of the locals that she were the conduit of the goddess or some such tripe. A strange sort of substance, discovered here around 2 years ago, and folks have been clamouring to get their paws on the rancid stuff ever since. To the right buyer, it's worth more than diamonds. Rot! You're a curious sort of fella, aren't you? Ask around. Half the men here have a brother who died from it. The other half were cured by that cult. I remember him well. Decent man, strong-backed, with something of a funny accent, no? He managed to leave Silverglen alive, but as I recall, the symptoms of wrath were already upon him.
A source hunter! My liege, I am at your disposal. I am Lawrence, the representative of the mining guild responsible for operations in Silverglen. Please, valiant hunter, let us know how we can assist you. Oh, I am no one special. Merely a humble servant of the guild and shepherd to the happy flock of miners within this settlement. My only cause for complaint, Your Grace, are these awful goblins. They're starving us out, refusing even a single honest miner his right to work. Perhaps, my most upright highness, you might be able to help us with this little problem. You must forgive me if I become somewhat overcome when discussing it, my liege. To think how I've been betrayed. To think how the humble miners of Silverglen suffer. I invited a tribe of goblins to assist us in clearing the tenebrium from our mine, you see. The leader of the troop, a Saturn-spitting Satan named Drexis, promised to clear the tenebrium and be gone. When the job was done, though, he and his band of totem-brained fiends refused to vacate. They've kept close guard of the bridges to the mine since, and they'll slice whoever dares approach them into ribbons. These goblins follow Drexis like lemmings, Your Grace, and if only I could undo the traitor, they'd slither back to the swamp they crawled from. Drexis's head on my mantle would save countless miners from a slow starvation, my liege. What's one goblin over countless disenfranchised workers? Preposterous! What does that foreigner know about the affairs of Silverglen? You do best to do as I do, my liege, and turn a deaf ear to her insane accusations. Enough to know the whole institution has been a blight on productivity. With the blessings of the conduit to replace a sense of a job well done, the miners care hardly at all for getting the mines back in good working order. Please, Your Grace, I am completely at your disposal. Those brutes, I invited them here to save our valued miners from the ill effects of clearing tenebrium, and those interlopers met my invitation with a hostile takeover. They haven't allowed a single human miner past them in months, and meanwhile my men have all but forgotten their vocation and turned instead to their damned religion. Useless stuff, my liege, worse than common dirt. But 10 times as difficult to extract, and infinitely more dangerous. If only we'd known in advance the terrible effect rot would have, we would have stopped trying to clear it immediately. Yes, a dreadful business that. I've been fortunate enough to avoid the sickness so far, my liege, but my heart truly breaks for the families of those who've been afflicted. You see, my liege, when a miner has been overlong exposed to tenebrium, he begins showing certain symptoms. Gangrene about the extremities, fatigue, malaise. At first, we attributed these symptoms to, well, to poor diet, laziness, and general malingering. Had we known then what we've since discovered, we never would have continued operations. But alas, mistakes were made, and those we lost can never be brought back, no matter what that crackpot conduit would have one believe. My liege, you ought not to concern yourself with the fraudulent leader of a crackpot cult. Really, the whole affair is an utter embarrassment to Silverglen. Some insane huckster calling herself the conduit of the goddess made her way to Silverglen at the height of the rot's hold on our miners. The people were desperate, you see. When by magic or illusion she managed to cure a handful of them of the affliction, every last one of the bunch began speaking of her as though she were some messiah. Now most of the town is taken with her little cult of Immaculates, as she calls them. Fortunately for her, she disappeared shortly after her little trick. Or I would have thrown her into prison and swallowed the key myself. Imagine hypnotizing an entire town with nothing more than snake oil. Ah, yes, Ben. Of course, one of our many noble miners, Your Grace. A smallish man. I believe he's around here somewhere, isn't he?